And he has played very well over his last several games, 21-plus fantasy points in 3 straight, during which time he's had 8 touchdown passes, just 1 interception. And as you mentioned, this is going to be a high-scoring affair, so start Jared Goff. I'm also starting Carson Wentz, and will also be a high-scoring affair. This one in the Bayou, Wentz has scored 20-plus fantasy points in 5 of his last 6 games, and the Saints have allowed the most fantasy points and a 110 passer rating to quarterbacks in New Orleans this season.
How many buys we got this week, Fabs?
Oh, we got a lot. We got 6.
All right, how many sleepers we got?
We got a lot, but I got one in particular here that I'd like to talk about, and that's Marcus Mariota, who finally looks healthy, and he's put up 20-plus fantasy points in 2 straight games, including 1 game against my beloved Dallas Cowboys. Now he plays the Colts, who gave up over 20 fantasy points to Blake Bortles last week. So, Mariota, back in the good graces of fantasy fans, money.
Don't do it, Fabs.
What?
Don't do it.
What?
It's time for your sits. Don't
I know,
do it.
I see. Well,
don't do it.
Kirk Cousins is my first sit at the quarterback position because Kirk Cousins has been a disappointment this season. I mean, he's had fewer than 18 fantasy points in 4 of his last 5 games, and he's got to play the Bears. They've allowed an average of fewer than 15 fantasy points per game to quarterbacks, and QBs have an 81 passer rating at Soldier Field, so Cousins is a fade for me, and here is where we're going to disagree. But Philip Rivers,
been too consistent.
He's been consistently mediocre. In fact, over the last several weeks, he scored fewer than 18 fantasy points in 3 of his last 4 games, and in 7 career home starts against the Broncos, or in his last 7, excuse me, he hasn't scored more than 15 fantasy points. So even with 6 teams on a bye, Philip Rivers is a little bit of a fade for me, my friend.